1 month ago, my game wasn't broken, but it just kinda sucked. Pointless class system, boring bosses, this needed to change. This is the Snow Skylines, the new area in Eye of the Portal, and it's different because instead of having walls, there's just an edge and you get this view of the mountain. I added parallax to the mountains to give a sense that you're in a 3D space, and also this nice snow particle effect. As for the enemies, there is this guy who teleports within a circle of the player, jumps up and shoots a bullet, and the snowman who I made a whole video on. Moving on to the boss fight of the Snow Skylines, I also made a whole video on him, but to sum it up, he has 3 phases. This one where he jumps around the map, this one where he gains 2 legs and jumps on the player, and this final phase where he turns into a toothy monster and shoots bullets at the player. Let's go on to the spooky mountain. Really, this is just where the game is set. Just thought it would be cool that you are stuck inside the bottom of a mountain and you have to try to get out. It finally adds some kind of lore to the game and makes writing NPC dialogue easier. Anyway, I added this scene to the game after you defeat a boss and move on to the next area because before it was kinda boring. This arrow shows where you are on the mountain and you moving up, and I just think it looks really cool. I've also improved the builder a lot. Before, the UI looks awful and hard to navigate and building was just unpolished as a whole, but now I've revamped the UI, I've added this cool animation that plays when you build something, and I've also added some decoration around the builder so players actually know what he is. And what really tops it off are the sound effects for when building is complete. Overall, I'm so much happier with it. I've also revamped the logo. This is the old one, which looks okay. This is the new one. It looks so much better in the cutscenes of the game, and I'm really happy how it turned out. This is probably the biggest thing I've added so far. Every single class in the game will have its own unique set of weapons. Before, your class only changed the weapons you start with, but now each class will have a completely different loot pool, meaning each class is totally unique. Made a full video on this, but in short, there will be hundreds of weapons in the game total, and I've already started making some of them, like the wizard books and tank classes huge club. This will make for so much more variety in the long run. The next thing I've added is also huge. This is the shopkeeper. He is called Theodore the Wise, and he will sell you a variety of temporary upgrades. For now, this variety isn't here, but it's something I'm working on. Making the visuals for this guy was probably the hardest part for some reason. It was really hard to get the yellow of the rug to look good, and drawing humanoid characters is always hard for me, though I'm really happy with the finished look. Every item will have its own rarity, common, rare, epic, or mythical, indicated by the tint of the item and the glow. So far, there are these upgrades: the speed boost, damage armor, bullet protection, and revive. I've added some cool polish to the shopkeeper, like him saying good choice or a message similar whenever you buy an upgrade. An interesting design choice I made is that buying these weapons will use your permanent gold rather than the gold you have just earned in the run. This leads to choices like, do you want to buy an upgrade now to hopefully get further into the game, or save your money so you can buy buildings back in the town. The shopkeeper will show up after each boss fight in the game, so you will be seeing him a lot. Something that I have removed from the game is this old shopkeeper. He stood in the town and sold you stats upgrades like speed boosts and damage upgrades. I removed him because of how lame and forgettable he was, and also because I wanted the builder to stand out as the main place to spend money in the town. Let's go over the intro and tutorial. When you first play the game, you are brought to this area, which is located at the peak of the mountain and is a flashback. Then you are taken to the present day, which is the tutorial. You then have to complete 2 challenges, each lighting up a new flame until you open the gate in the center. The first challenge is a combat challenge, which gives the player an easy wave of enemies to destroy to get used to combat controls. And the second challenge is the dodging challenge, which makes sure the player knows how to dash by sending out otherwise unavoidable lines of bullets. Then you are sent to the town and the game actually starts. I've spent a while refining this tutorial sequence because on one end, if you make the tutorial too short, the player won't know how to play properly, but if you make the tutorial too long and boring, it will leave a negative first impression on the player. I've also spent a while making my website better and making some marketing gifts which are doing quite well on Reddit. I guess now is a good time to talk about release date. I'm not going to give an exact date, but I'll tell you a month. February 2023. Reasoning for this is it's right after Steam Next Fest 2023, which I'll be taking part in from February 6th to 13th. And with that, my game is much better than it was a month ago. Make sure to wishlist Eye of the Portal on Steam and check out this video to see how I added a proper hook to my game.